Hello everybody and welcome. My name is Morgan Miglarisi of Spectoria Tarot and Black Spectoria. I know it's been a while since I made a video, but I've been feeling the need to get on the last few days. The energy is feeling heavy to me. It's feeling a little stuck. I think the shift from Gemini season to Cancer season, it's just kind of, it's bringing up a lot of emotions. And for some of you, you could be seeing ancestral or family toxic cycles and patterns showing up. You could also be having memories of childhood. Whether that mean that you are healing your inner child, healing from stuff that happened in your childhood, or some of you could be reconnecting with dreams, hopes, visions that you held for yourself in your life when you were a child. And you might be kind of wondering like why these haven't taken off yet, or what's going on, or for some there could be a return to innocence. There's a need to reconnect with your feelings of enchantment and wonder. Okay, so we're just gonna pull some cards, see what Spirit wants to say, see what the forces want to say regarding what this energy is having you move through. Okay, let's see. Hearing to do this. Yeah, we have the Five of Swords here. Okay. We have the Five of Swords and we have Judgment. Yes. With the Four of Cups there too. Look at that. Okay. Five of Cups is a card, Five of Swords is a card that I often see as inner conflict. It can also be a sign of psychic attack. Okay? So some of you could feel like you're under psychic attack right now. This could even be your own mentality. Like your own inner energies may be fighting each other, as I was saying originally. Gemini season is a season of duality. It's the twins. It's opposites. And this is something that might have started in Gemini season, where you feel like you have this, one side of you that's very optimistic, very trusting, very loving, very open in flow. And then you might have this other side of you that's a little bit more rigid, a little bit more fearful, doubtful, prone to self-sabotaging tendencies, doesn't have an easy time trusting others, wants to block, barricade, protect, that kind of energy. And this could even, these types of energies can even show up in the things that you're trying to manifest in your dreams. Now, what I'm saying is it can go beyond just like relationships, and things like that. You may dream of growing in your career and then feel afraid about that. Or maybe you're afraid of success. Maybe you're afraid of attention. Maybe you're afraid of actually breaking through these cycles that have kept you stuck and trapped for a while. And this is something that the mind, the ego, the psyche does, because the unknown is something that frightens the conscious mind, the ego. Because we get so used to doing things a certain way. We get so used to conditions in our life being the way that they are, they become familiar, even if they are unwanted. And so then, you get triggered when the possibility of the new starts coming in, and then you kind of revert to these past ways of being, these past cycles. And this is something that came through in my Patreon yesterday, and it's something that came through for my Instagram yesterday. Contrary to what many will say, is that if you're repeating cycles, it's because you haven't healed. See my air quotes, haven't healed. And you have healed, okay? If you've been doing the inner work, if you've been working on yourself, if you've been consciously, becoming increasingly aware of these cycles that are going on, you have done the work, you have done the healing. But these cycles just naturally pop up again because they're part of our conditioning. The healing comes in when you notice the cycles and you choose to move forward anyway. Right? When you notice the cycles returning, when you notice that fear creeping in, when you notice that sudden urge to self-sabotage, when you notice that and you're like, no, screw that, I'm not going to listen, I'm going to keep doing my own thing, that's when the healing truly occurs. And it's something that is cyclical. It's something that will continue on and on and on throughout your life. So one thing that you need to do is get rid of the idea that you have to be completely healed to do anything or to live a fulfilling life. That is not true. I personally do not believe in the concept of being fully healed, because there is always going to be something else that comes along in your life that you're going to need to heal from. Even if you 100% completely heal from something that happened, 10 years ago, 20 years ago, 30 years ago, whatever, you feel like, oh, that situation doesn't bother me anymore. Well, guess what? Something else is going to come along that is going to trigger you, that is going to require healing, whether it's the loss of someone that you love, the loss of a pet, the ending of an era in your life, moving houses might make you sad. Who the hell knows? Having a health issue, you know what I mean? There's always going to be something that you need to heal from, okay? And so there is no such thing as fully healed, okay? We can heal from situations. We can be aware of cycles, of triggers, of things that might hold us back and choose differently. But there's no such thing as completely healed. So get that idea out of your head. It's holding you back. Okay? That could be one of the reasons why you're feeling a little apathetic. You could be feeling a little bit like, when am I going to have my fulfillment? When am I going to be fully healed? There's no such thing as fully healed. Okay? So let that idea go. This is something that could be coming into your consciousness right now. Just realizing like how far you actually have come, how much healing has truly occurred. Continuing to create, being reborn, rising again, even after attacks, whether they're from your own psyche, whether they're from your own inner opposing sides, whether it's actually attacks from people around you, people being negative, people straight up telling you what you want you can't have, or what, whatever. A message that I received personally the other day that I think is very good and really resonated with me, it was from one of my guides. He said to me, because I said to him, because I was kind of feeling a little dual myself. I was like, how can I be so optimistic and so pessimistic at the same time? And he said to me, optimism is rebellion. And I was like, oh, yeah, that makes more sense. Because I don't, nobody tells me no. Nobody tells me I can't do something, or that's not going to work, or that's never going to happen. I make it happen. And so that's kind of the attitude that you need to take here. It's not about being optimistic necessarily. I mean, maybe sometimes, right? But it's not about forcing yourself to stay optimistic. It's not about forcing yourself to stay positive. It's about saying, no, I'm going to do it this way. This is how it's going to go for me. I'm going to be successful at it, and I'm going to enjoy it. I'm going to make it happen. That's rebellion. That is sacred rebellion. And so that is something that we are actually lacking in this energy here. You see, we've got this emotional and mental turmoil among a rebirth. A rebirth is happening, an awakening is happening, an epiphany is coming through, a shift in consciousness is coming through. But there's no fire. There's nothing to fuel your energy right now. Okay? So let's find out a little bit more about that. Yeah, look at that. It's water carrier. Humanitarian, generosity, nobility, balance, calm life. Communication, compassion, unselfish, alleviate suffering, benefactor, care for others, humane, helpful, ethical. Got the Aquarius symbol up here and the number 9, if any of that resonates with you for some reason. You could have been going through this energy since Aquarius season. The Aquarius full moon in Leo season could be a time when you are kind of awakening, coming out of this more heavy energy, okay? We have Knight. Yeah, look, it's the Leo sign. Yeah. Confident, heroic, messenger. And look. So we have a 9 with Aquarius, and we have a 1 with Leo. The cycle is closing, and something new is beginning around the Aquarius full moon and Leo season, okay? And these are also polar opposites, Aquarius and Leo, okay? And look, it's like I said, this is the mental, emotional, this is the inner fire that is coming through, that is going to help you act, okay? It says confident, heroic, messenger, fearless, assertive, passionate, fighting spirit. Yeah, have that sacred rebellion. Hone that. Persevering, chivalry, honor, determined, obeying orders, brave, daring, strong, champion of a cause. You need to become the knight in your life, okay? Now. This is what I'm hearing now. Okay. The emotions and the mental energy is the root, if that makes sense. The fire is formed through the emotions and the mental space, right? It is your emotions, your desires, your visions in your head, your dreams, the way that you picture yourself and your life. Those are all mental, emotional, psychic space things, okay? The fire and the earth. There's no earth here either, but the fire and the earth. Those are the physical manifestations. You know, the fire is what is inspiring you to take action. The earth is where you are rooting these things, right? And so right now, we just started Cancer season. So, I mean, the Aquarius full moon is not until what? August? Let me look at my little book. Hold on. It might be July. Hold on. Okay, the Aquarius full moon is going to be July 29th. Okay? Yeah. So we still have over a month, about 5 weeks. So these next 5, and look, we have a 5 here with the swords, right? So the next 5 weeks for you, what you're being guided to do is really bring balance to your energy, to your emotions, to your inner energies, to your psychic space. Find ways to alleviate your suffering. Know that by having compassion for yourself, focusing on having a calm life, caring for yourself, taking time to be alone and process your inner energies, that is not selfish. Okay? It's time to kind of fill your own cup for the next 5 weeks. And when that full moon hits, you should be feeling a little more confident, a little more ready. But they're saying, more importantly, it's not even necessarily about focusing on getting yourself ready. It's about finding the emotions, the yearnings, the desires, the visions, the dreams from within you, from your psychic space, and figuring out how those are fueling your next moves. So let me try to think of an example here. Let's just say that you have like a dream career in mind, right? Or you want to move into a new house, you know, something like that. You want something new. You're being guided to figure out the underlying emotion behind that, because yes, we have these very physical manifestation desires, but they come from something deeper within. Why do you want a new house? Why do you want a new career? Do you want a new house because maybe you didn't have much stability when you were a child and now you want to create that stability for yourself. Or, for whatever other reason. It's about digging deep. If you want a new career, is it because you feel like there's something you're passionate about that you're not getting to express? Do you feel like your happiness will come from, doing something that's more in alignment with you? You know what I'm saying? It's about digging deep. So that's your guidance for the next 5 weeks. Dig deep. Look for that epiphany. Look for that breakthrough. Let your spirit lead you to that. We're talking about the psychic space. Because come the Leo full moon, the Aquarius full moon in Leo season, you're going to be infusing that energy into your reality and starting to take action steps that really support the true emotional psychic root of your desires. So hopefully that's making sense. All right, thank you for watching today's video. If you would like to book your own personal reading with me or check out the other products and things that I offer, the links are in the description and on my About page. I'm sending you lots of love. Good luck.